Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Conference Champions video. In this video, I will be going alphabetically through all the conferences, declaring who I think will win and who will play in the Conference Championship games. You may have noticed that the scenery behind me has changed. I have moved to a new location, so it's gonna be fun. I can't wait for the season to start. Without any further delays, I'm going to get right into it. We're going to start with the American Athletic Conference. Now, I have South Florida and Memphis playing in this one. I have South Florida winning it with a record of 11-2. I think the addition of Charlie Strong is a great get at head coach, so I think it's going to pay off really well for them. Next is the Atlantic Coast Conference, or the ACC. In this one, I have Louisville finally reaching that conference championship game, and I have them facing off against unlikely Duke. I have Louisville winning it and Duke falling just short, but it should be an entertaining season in the ACC. Next, the Big 12. While they don't have a conference championship game, I have an outright winner in Oklahoma State, so it's going to be interesting to see that. I think that's one that's kind of up in the air. It could be them, it could be Oklahoma, but it's one of those two. Next is the Big 10. Now this one was interesting because in the Big 10 West Conference, I had it down to two teams. I went with Northwestern, but I think Minnesota could surprise people this season. The East is a lot harder. I had a round-robin situation of three teams with the same record, all of them 11-1. I had Penn State beating Michigan, Michigan beating Ohio State, and Ohio State beating Penn State. So that round-robin led to a whole bunch of other things that couldn't be determined until the games are actually played kind of situation. So I ended up with a coin toss. I landed on Penn State, so I got Penn State and Northwestern, although it could be Ohio State Northwestern, or Michigan Northwestern, or could be, instead of Northwestern, be Minnesota. It could be any of those five. But the Eastern team is going to win. I have Penn State. Next is the Conference USA. Now, this one, I kind of came up with the same one last season. As last season, the actual one. I have Western Kentucky facing Louisiana Tech in the conference championship, and I have Western once again winning the conference for the third straight season. I think that's going to be a good start for Western Kentucky. Western's got a new head coach, the former offensive coordinator for Notre Dame, and if there's one thing Notre Dame's been doing really well recently, it has been offense. So I'm excited to see how he brings that to life at Western. Next is the MAC. In the MAC, I have Miami of Ohio winning the East, although there's not much competition in the East for it. It was between them or just Ohio. The winner of the West, I don't have a repeat from Western Michigan. I have Toledo winning it this year, and I have Toledo winning the conference altogether at 11-2. In the Mountain West Conference, I have Wyoming winning their half of the division again, facing off against Hawaii winning their half of the division. I have Wyoming winning that game and finishing the season 10-3. In the Pac-12, it was kind of easy for me to figure out the North. With all starters returning, I kind of had to have Washington winning it again. But in the South, it was a little more exciting. Colorado's not having a lot of starters return, not enough in my book. They're still going to have a good season, a winning record, but it was between USC and Utah. Now, the way I predicted the games, it ended up being Utah squeaking in, but it could just as easily be USC. I have Washington winning because while Washington did lose to USC and struggled with a few teams last season, the experience coming back, they've played in the playoffs now. I really like this team. I have Washington winning the Pac-12. Then we get to the SEC. Now, I would like to say this is hard, but this tends to come down to the same thing every season. So, in the East, I have Florida winning it. There really wasn't a lot of competition for it. I had Florida winning with a 9-3 record. In the West, while the teams are better in the West, I have LSU finishing at 9-2. I have Texas A&M finishing at 10-2. And I think the only team that doesn't finish with a winning record is Ole Miss, and they finish at 5-7 in my list. So the quality of teams in the West is better than in the East. But Alabama wins it. I got Alabama winning the West and then winning the conference. It really wasn't that hard of a pick. Last on the list is the Sun Belt Conference. Now, this one's a little weird because in the Sun Belt, not all the teams play each other. And another interesting thing is there's going to be, I believe, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's going to be 12 teams in the Sun Belt. I don't know if they make the move to a championship game yet, or if they continue with their just flat-out play. They haven't split into divisions yet, so I'm assuming they're going to just flat-out play, name a champion at the end. But with my predictions, we have co-champions, because Troy and Appalachian State do not play each other. I have them both finishing with the same conference record and the same outside of conference, and the same overall conference record of 10-2. So I have co-champions between Appalachian State and Troy. With that being said, that does it for the conference champions, but there is one more video coming for you guys. I gotta get it all sorted out and ready because I want to look up some facts and do some research. It's going to be one of those interesting history kind of videos. I'm going to talk about UAB. University of Alabama Birmingham is coming back to football this season. They're going to be one of the new teams in the Conference USA. I say new loosely. They're an older team from the Conference USA. They used to be in the Sun Belt, moved to Conference USA, then got shut down. They're brought back now, have a brand new stadium. There's a whole bunch of stuff to go over. I'll go over that in another video. But they're not the only one with a new team. The Sun Belt added Coastal Carolina, making the move up from Division II to Division I. So it's going to be interesting to see what goes on there. I may talk about Coastal Carolina a little bit in the next video, but it's mostly going to be about University of Alabama, Birmingham. Anyway, that does it for this video. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you like what I'm doing, don't forget to hit that like button and hit subscribe. I'll be doing this at least every week. It's going to be a little tricky. I have 2 jobs to work, so when I can get videos in around that, they might be coming at odd times now, but I'm gonna make the videos because I don't want to miss out on this stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. I love doing this. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to tune in for the next video.